looming. And Chris, I want you to tell our viewers and our listeners a little bit about how you prepared for your trip down here. Because, you know, it's not a leisure trip. You're not coming for a week. You're coming for an entire year. So it's going to be a little different. Tell us some of the things you did to make sure you had a smooth transition.
Sure. I'm a big believer in setting intentions. And when you do something, prepare completely for it. So one of the things I did, I wrote out just out in Word, I wrote out what my expectations were. I wrote out what my fears were. I wrote out how I would view this year as a success, what would have to happen.
Right.
And wrote out just one of the things I wanted to do. What do I want to accomplish here, professionally as well as personally?
Right.
And it was in it as I reviewed it just like a week or two ago. It was interesting. The things that were my biggest fears were nothing.
Never came to fruition.
Never came to fruition. Not even close. You know, so that was really. And a lot of things that I wanted to achieve, I did. You know, which was great. And the main thing was just getting my writing done. And it's a great place to get work done. At least for me, it was. So, but I do really believe in setting those intentions and going through, spend the time, write it out, and then check back and see. And I think a lot of the things that we feel we're going to be afraid of, or because I didn't really know a lot. I knew a few people, but didn't know a lot. You wonder how your friends, can you still stay in touch? I work very hard at staying in touch with friends, and so my best friend, we talk almost every day, and he's been down twice. But if you want a friendship, you work. It is easy. I think one of the things we talked about is it is easy for people in the U.S. to get you a little bit out of sight, out of mind. So reach out. Don't always expect them to reach out to you. Reach out to them. Initiate contact. Don't have an ego about it, and then people will do the same. Here too, people have busy lives too, and it is you can meet people pretty easily. It's not all that tough. You see someone and you hear their accent. You kind of know where they're from.
Exactly. It's an unmistakable accent.
Right? The part of the U.S., Canadian, the UK. Those are, the three areas. And then even different parts of the Caribbean. So, a Trinidadian accent is very different than a Bayesian accent.
It is.
And Jamaican accent. And so you get used to it. I just enjoy accents.
I like the fact that you've embraced our culture so much and you feel so comfortable being a part of it, because as an island that depends heavily on tourism, we really do want people to feel comfortable, when they visit or if they move here. And I'm glad to see that it is working. You do feel welcome. You do feel comfortable because you have extended your stay here. Know that the option is available. Tell us a bit about that process, how that was for you.
God, it's so easy. I mean, even the first time. You put your application in, you get the acceptance, and then you put your payment in. I mean,
and that's it.
That's it.
You just,
I mean, it's very, very. It's just as easy. It's as easy, if not easier, than renewing my driver's license in New York online.
That is so cool.
So I found the process very, very easy. I can't say there was really any. And the one thing I was concerned about, because I got the renewal in August, and I came down here on the 23rd of September. So I thought, wait a second, if I renew now, are they going to say my renewal date
starts from now, or if it starts from
it should start on the 24th. And so I called to ask, I'm like, is this, because
to be sure,
just to be sure, because not everything happens the way you think it was. And they said, nope. And that was like clockwork.
Oh, really?
That was really like clockwork. So I think that whole process, they make it very, very easy. The only thing I guess I'm going to say is don't come down on the 6-month tourist visa. Pay for the welcome stamp. You are going to use the services of this country, whether they're emergency services, light and power, beaches, all these things that people pay in their taxes. So don't come down and you're going to be here and you're going to be working. Technically, it's illegal. Because you shouldn't be working on a tourist.
Exactly.
So,
but there will always be people who try to find that loophole and don't want to pay the additional for the 12
and maybe it's easy for me to say I'm in in a fortunate position, but I do feel that it's important to contribute to the society, and it's $1,500. You're probably going to spend $1,500 on the renewal, $2,000 on the. You're probably going to spend it on dumb
Something
stuff.
trivial.
Anyway.
Yeah,
right.
exactly.
So it's not just going to the waste. There's a lot of projects that need to get done here. A lot of things that need to be done here. Whether it's just still rebuilding. I mean, all the COVID tests I've had here are free.
Mhm.
Right? Vaccination, free.
Yeah. But
There's
someone has to be paying for it.
Right.
Yeah.
And then I know they got a lot of it from COVAX and they got it from gifts from the other place, but there's still the people, the nurses that are there.
Exactly.
You know,
the staff.
The
people they've hired to help with the process.
Yeah.
And speaking of the process, you got your vaccination
Yeah,
while you were
I
here.
did.
So tell us a bit about what that experience was like for you.
That wasn't easy.
It wasn't easy?
No, it wasn't.
Please elaborate.
It was. I got my first one at Sandals because it was near my house, and everyone was just kind of in a crowd. It wasn't.
And that's the last thing you want to do in a pandemic.
People were kind of spaced, but we were outside,
Mhm.
you know, and they weren't communicating like how the process was going to be.
Okay.
And then I took a friend to Harbor Industrial Park.
In Bridgetown, yeah.
So go on a weekday. Do not go on a weekend. That was a mistake I made. Go on a weekday.
Because everyone's probably thinking I'll go on the weekend because people are going on a weekday. And
so
then there's more people.
There was more people there. One day I did on a weekday, but it was early on. But she was in and out in 20 minutes.
Wow.
I bought a book. I was ready to read. I was ready to settle in, but she was in and out.
Wow.
So I think as soon as I got inside, the process was very good.
Yeah, that's been my experience as well too. It's the waiting, but then once you get in, you're gone.
Once you get in, it's really, really good.
Yeah.
As far as once everything got inside, it's really good. And the nurses and doctors, and even when I was sick, I had a doctor come to my house.
Mm-hmm.
So there was a home, because I really didn't want to go to the hospital.
Right.
I did not feel going to QEH was the best during, and this was,
or any hospital in a pandemic.
Yeah,
if you can avoid it, you do it. Yeah,
because I think they do the best job they can.
They do a great job.
I'm not saying anything bad about QEH. I think they're doing it. Every hospital's struggling, as you say.
If you can avoid going to any hospital at this point in time, it's best to do so.
And the doctor came to my house, took blood. They tested she came back like 3 times to check up on me.
Okay.
And it was funny the first time she came and they took the blood and platelets, and she called me the next day and said, "Mr. Jones, you have an acute dengue fever." And I said, "Dr. Jordan, there's nothing cute about this at all." Then she
at least you still had your sense of humor,
She woman-explained, like, "No, Mr. Jones, acute." I know what it means. I was like, "I've got 103 fever. I'm not losing my sense of humor over it." But it was, so even amongst all those little inconveniences and life still here is really wonderful.
Yeah. Would you say that it's better going through, well, obviously if we could avoid having a pandemic, I think everyone would want to, but would you say it's easier going through or experiencing the pandemic here on an island that it is, or that it would be back home?
Yeah, there's not as many cases.
Mm-hmm.
I do feel the government does a great job of communicating to the people what's going on.
Right.
And I understand why. Like, a lot of times I want to know on the cases, and I do watch the case count just I like numbers and things like that and statistics. And I'm wondering, okay, which one, how many are local and how much is external transmission?
Mm-hmm.
But I understand why they don't want to do that.
Yeah.
Because now you can develop prejudicial treatments and biases, and all of a sudden groups get really mad, and we don't want that.
Right.
I think that has been really good. With the number of cases still low, you can still go to restaurants.
Mm-hmm.
I would feel safe going into a Manhattan restaurant. I mean, I know people are vaccinated, but it's a little bit inconvenient.
So you would say our government is doing a pretty good job then?
I think
of
doing a very good job.
Pandemic?
Trying to handle it as best they can. It's I don't think we'll really truly know. I mean, I'm not a scientist, right? But it's going to take years before we really understand how the virus changes and mutates and how it grows. But I think they're doing the best they can in the situation. And just the other people might find it hard to get certain things in the U.S., but it's really hard to get things here. Mm-hmm. The only other thing is, without as many tourists, it's really easy to get a restaurant reservation.
That's true. You don't have the crowds that you would normally have.
Yeah.
No, you're gateless. Well, since you feel so comfortable, moving around here, what has networking been like for you since you've been on the island?
I've made lots of good friends. Of course, a lot of people, they don't stay as long as I have, so they've gone home. That's been pretty good. As far as the business community, well, in the writing, because I focused more on my writing than the business. I haven't had it. We tried to do a couple of things through. I bank with Royal Bank of Canada. We tried to do some things, but with COVID, it's just really hard
Right.
to do any kind of events, and I get that. But I have met with other writers. I went to a reading this like a weekend ago. Sherry Jones, who the one arm.
Oh, Sister Sweeps. Yeah, I remember that book. Yeah.
So I met her, and sort of
Oh, the one arm sister sweeps her house. Yeah.
Sweeps her house.
Sweeps her house. Yeah.
Yeah. So and Sherry's great, and there was another author that was there, a poet, and then another woman from here that was in Senegal. So she was on Zoom. So it was, I think there's lots of opportunities to do things. You just smaller groups, and if you don't mind doing things in smaller groups, but there's hiking clubs, and there's the Welcome Staff group. There's the Black Pats group with friends in there. So there's lots of really good groups of really wonderful people who you can meet. I had for a while I was meeting with people to just try to get their creative going, and again before that, but it was in the fall, and I met lots of nice people there. So yeah, if you put yourself out there, if you stay just in your apartment, they're not going to come to you.
Exactly.
If you go out, and you don't have to be. I mean, I'm a little bit more extroverted than the average person, maybe, but just realize that everybody here is new, and they might feel uncomfortable, and just say hello.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean anything. You can, and I think with COVID, we're all. We're getting
a little standoffish,
a little standoffish, but and find things outside. You can find things outside to do besides the bar.
There are a lot of activities you can do safely.
You can meet people snorkeling. You go on any of the local groups here to go snorkeling, and you can do that. So I think if you do a little bit of research, and honestly, I met so many nice people just on my beach and just say hello.
Just walking up to them, saying hi, just introducing yourself.
Everyone's very friendly. So, I love it. I grew up in a place where you did say good morning to people and good afternoon. And you can say that to pretty much everybody. And, people will.
You're a very social crowd here. Yeah, it's a very social community.
Even with COVID and everyone is aware, I do feel that it's a very warm and welcome. And that's been in the heart of the Caribbean people in general. They're usually pretty warm and welcoming. Yeah, if you're not a jerk. Right?
Obviously, don't be.
Nice.
Don't be.
Be nice. Be kind. Be polite. You can.
It takes nothing off of you to be mannerly.
My grandmother said the same.
Yeah.
It doesn't cost anything.
It doesn't cost anything. Exactly.
So.
Well, now that you've seen so much of Barbados over the year that you've been here, I just want to end on your opinion. What do you think? Do you think there are any opportunities? Obviously, when things have kind of petered out a bit with this pandemic. Do you think there are opportunities for investment, for growth, whether it's startup, the entrepreneur scene, real estate? Because I know you did a bit of that back in the day. What is your opinion on that?
Yeah, well, there's definitely lots of opportunity around real estate here. It's not cheap. It's big. I prefer commercial over residential, but I also feel that there's this could be an incredible opportunity here for technology development. You have a very well-educated population in the sciences, in the maths. I would love to see more. Like I've tried to talk about people like what we do to get an incubator started here. Tech is my passion. I have several tech startups that I've invested in, and that's a passion of mine. And I would love to see more stay here. One of the things that the doctor told me, it was a young doctor, Dr. Jordan, and she said that, that was very sad for me to hear that if you really wanted to accomplish something, you had to leave the island. And, I'd love to see, this would be a great time during pandemic is
to see how we can change that
and not rely on tourism solely. I get it. So tourism is easy dollars. People come in and out. It's reliable. I understand completely.
But no, we're kind of been forced to find different avenues. Yeah, because the pandemic has shown us how that affects tourism. So we can't have that be the main thing, the main, foreign exchange earner. We need to really utilize our resources and our talent and our people. Yeah.
Developing applications, call centers. Why not? Why can't you do a call center? There's if they've been able to succeed in other places, you can do it here. Trying to get those jobs that are a little bit more higher paying. I think one of the advice I would give to entrepreneurs here, don't if you're thinking of just the island, I think you're limiting yourself. You do need to think of any business that you do here, and this is my opinion, right? That make sure it's built for a world audience. And if you do that, then you can base it here. Because right now, like most of my startups, they're not in an office building someplace, right? They're all scattered all over. Everyone's working remotely. Well, this is a beautiful place to work remotely.
Exactly, yeah.
Right?
You could do worse than this, yeah.
You can do worse than this, exactly. And you can put in your day and still have a nice evening and still get out to do what you want to do. But there are opportunities, I think. Why not? Why can't you build tech companies from here, app development, anything, but just look more outside and look more to the world as your customer and not just Barbados.
Right.
And I think understanding risk, I think Asians are, from my experience, are very risk averse.
We are.
And I understand that. And that comes from a lot of, frankly, colonialism.
Yes.
And that comes from that and being risk averse and just knowing how precarious everyone's situation was. But I do think understanding, I started my first company at 23. I had no money. I got thrown out of my first bank. I only had like a couple $100 to my name, and he threw me out of the bank.
He was like, "You're wasting my time. Get out of here."
He said, "Get the hell out of my bank."
Oh my God.
Yeah. And then I went to another bank. They were a little bit more polite, but they said they did not want to start my $300 wasn't. And then I went to another bank, and that National Westminster Bank, and the bank manager, Cheryl Delaney, is a female bank manager, shook my hand, greeted me, opened my account. I happened to send her $1 million in mortgage business for my accounting clients that year.
You see, so this is why women run the world. Thank you. Or why we should.
I agree. I totally agree. We see
the potential. We see the potential. Yeah.
Well, you know how hard it is. And she believed that she saw I was going to someone who took my work seriously even at a young age, and you can. And I do think, especially entrepreneurism is wonderful for women, especially for women. It can give you that flexible lifestyle. I think women business owners have incredible skills and that they can do not only in the sales and marketing side, but even working with their employees.
Yeah.
And a little more.
Because we have that empathy, we do. Yeah. And we have that intuition. Women just naturally are, well, I can't speak for every woman, but to generalize, women usually are very intuitive when it comes to dealing with people. Yeah. And you can use those people skills throughout business. So I think that's one of the reasons why women are so good at business. Yeah.
Believe in yourself.
Yeah.
Really believe in yourself. Try it. Do things. Even if you're consulting and build, like I started just doing accounting and bookkeeping in Princeton area and billing by the hour. But it started and they built my confidence. And I would talk to my clients and they taught me. That's where I got my real education.
So you learned as you went, and you learned from the people around you.
And I made tons of mistakes. Even then when I had my other company, I had a construction equipment company, and that did real well, and that's what I sold. And I tell my staff all the time, like, look, there's no mistake you can make that I haven't made 1,000 times. Like, I made up some new ones.
But you're still here. You're still here. And you learn from those mistakes. Those are what make you stronger, make you a better businessman as well.
And even now in my writing, I study other writers and talk to other writers so I'm still at the beginning. This is my first novel. I am by no means an expert. I'm just starting, and I'll talk to anyone. Like I was talking to Sherry, like understand their process. And Sherry was very generous with her time and telling me, she's a very successful writer, and she's a lawyer too.
Yeah.
So she runs a law practice and writes. So that's what I did. I was a CFO during the day and came home and wrote at night. So don't put off your dream. Now is a great time to do it. As the workforce is reforming, I kind of find it interesting how people are saying, well, I don't want to work this crappy job or this.
I'm not doing this 9 to 5 anymore. I want to do something that I enjoy, that I love.
Yeah. And I do think that's important. As long as you're being responsible, if you have a family, and it is harder to take risk when you have a family and children and or parents you need to take care of, so but invest in yourself. And that's part of the decision to even to come down here was an investment in myself. Could I take a break away from my life in New York and come to a new place, a new island? And yes, it's beautiful and it's amazing and it's still a new experience, right? And
Yes.
am I willing to give myself this experience of just how do you adjust to a new place? So for that, Barbados has received me welcomingly, and I love every moment here. I feel very lucky and very fortunate. I won't say lucky. I'll say fortunate. There's
To be here.
a lot of hard work and sacrifice
That got you here.
that
Yeah.
got me here, but I did it,
And you're here.
yeah, and I totally recommend come down and see the island. If you're a remote worker, if something you can do remotely, um,
Just go for it.
it's a very easy place to meditate.
Oh, it is.
It's very
it
quiet.
Is.
I'm surrounded by water.
I mean, look at it. Come
yeah,
on.
it's beautiful, right? So
That's
I mean,
true.
the island, everywhere you go, there's beauty everywhere. Everywhere you go, the flowers, the animals, everything, and
The people.
the people,
Yeah.
especially the people. The people are beautiful,
Yeah.
inside and out. Not just they're just and it's a can't say more about it. And it's not America, right?
Mhm. That's true.
It's not America. You're not going to find the same things.
No, different culture, different attitude, everything.
But embrace that. Embrace the fact you're not going to get all your favorite things and this and that.
That's the reason why you're leaving, because you want a different experience.
Yeah.
Yes.
Exactly.
Well, Chris, thank you so much for your insight into your experience here. I hope that this second year that you're going to be spending with us, you get a great return on investment, investing in yourself.
As long as my book sells. It would be interesting
Yes.
doing a book launch from here.
It would be. Be sure to call me and let me know when it's happening. I
Yeah,
want to be there. But thank you so much
You're welcome.
for sharing your experiences
Yeah.
with us. I'm glad to have you on the show, and we're glad to have you here in Barbados.
Thank you.
So you've been watching Paradise Calling. Until next time, bye.